Hey everyone, welcome back to Facts of Life, the channel where we uncover the coolest, craziest facts about the world around us. If you're a fan of amazing creatures and wild discoveries, you're in for a treat. This is part 2 of our Animal Kingdom series, and we've got some jaw-dropping facts lined up for you. Let's dive in. In the emerald forests and sun-baked grasslands of South and Southeast Asia, a quiet giant moves with surprising grace. The Asian elephant, Elephas maximus, is smaller than its African cousin, yet no less magnificent. With rounded ears, a domed forehead, and a single finger-like tip at the end of its trunk, it is a master of both strength and precision. At dawn, the forest begins to stir. A low rumble rolls through the trees, almost too deep for human ears to detect. It is the voice of a matriarch, the wise leader of her herd. Asian elephants live in tightly bonded family groups led by the oldest female. Her memory is their map, guiding daughters, sisters, and calves along ancient migratory routes carved by generations before them. Each step is deliberate. Though they can weigh up to 5 tons, their cushioned feet allow them to walk in near silence. The trunk, a fusion of nose and upper lip containing over 40,000 muscles, is both a lifeline and a tool. It plucks tender grasses, strips bark from trees, draws water for drinking, and showers dust across their backs like sunscreen against the relentless tropical sun. Calves remain close to their mothers, sheltered beneath towering legs. From the moment they are born, often weighing more than 200 pounds, they are surrounded by protection. Aunts and older sisters help raise the young, forming a network of care that rivals any in the animal kingdom. Play is constant, trunks entwine, small bodies chase one another through the undergrowth. But every lesson is vital. Survival here demands knowledge. As the dry season tightens its grip, water becomes scarce. The matriarch remembers a hidden riverbed miles away. The herd follows. Along the journey, they reshape the landscape itself. By knocking down trees and clearing pathways, Asian elephants act as ecosystem engineers. Seeds pass through their digestive systems and are deposited far from the parent tree, ensuring the forest's renewal. Where elephants roam, biodiversity flourishes, yet life is not without danger. Expanding farms and growing cities press against the boundaries of ancient habitat. Forests shrink, corridors vanish. Encounters between humans and elephants grow more frequent and more perilous. For the Asian elephant, survival now depends not only on instinct, but on coexistence. In some regions, conservationists work tirelessly to protect migratory routes and reduce conflict. Protected reserves offer refuge, while local communities develop innovative ways to share the land. The future of this species rests on a delicate balance between tradition and progress. As dusk settles, the herd gathers at the water's edge. Calves splash clumsily, while adults stand sentinel. The matriarch pauses, her trunk lifted to the evening air. She listens, not just for danger, but for the faint replies of distant relatives miles away. Their infrasonic calls travel across vast distances, a reminder that even in fragmentation, connection endures. For more than 4,000 years, Asian elephants have walked beside humanity, revered in culture, religion, and history. But beyond symbolism, they are architects of the wild, keepers of memory, and guardians of Asia's great forests. In the fading light, their silhouettes dissolve into shadow, ancient, intelligent, enduring. The story of the Asian elephant is not only one of survival, It is a testament to the power of family, memory, and the fragile harmony of our shared world. Beneath the sunlit skin of the tropical ocean, where light fractures into liquid gold and silence hums with hidden life, a shadow begins to rise. And it is not a predator or a myth, but a miracle of motion, the manta ray, gliding effortlessly through the blue like a living spacecraft. The manta moves with a wingspan that can stretch up to 23 feet across, and unlike its distant cousin, the stingray, it carries no venomous barb, only grace, intelligence, and a presence that commands the sea. There are only 2 recognized species on Earth, the reef manta ray, Mobula alfredi, and the larger oceanic manta ray, Mobula barostris, both roaming the warm waters of the Pacific, Indian, and Atlantic Oceans, including the vibrant marine realms surrounding Maldives, Indonesia, and Australia. From below, its pale underside glows against the fractured surface light, each constellation of dark spots entirely unique, like a fingerprint, allowing scientists to identify individuals and follow their journeys across years and oceans. With slow, deliberate beats of its massive pectoral fins, the manta appears to fly underwater, every movement economical and precise as it loops, barrel rolls, and spirals through dense clouds of plankton, unfurling its cephalic fins like delicate scrolls to funnel microscopic prey into its wide, forward-facing mouth, proving that even one of the ocean's largest fish survives on some of its smallest life forms. Gentle, but far from simple, the manta ray possesses the largest brain-to-body ratio of any fish in the sea, demonstrating problem-solving abilities, social awareness, and even curiosity toward humans. And divers often describe their encounters not as sightings, but as meetings, as the manta circles back, makes eye contact, and investigates with what feels like deliberate awareness. Along coral reefs, mantas visit cleaning stations in a silent ritual of cooperation, hovering patiently while small fish pick parasites from their skin in a partnership that has endured for millennia. And at times, they erupt from the ocean entirely, launching their enormous bodies into the air before crashing back down in a thunderous splash. A breathtaking behavior scientists believe may serve communication, courtship, or parasite removal, though its full purpose remains one of the sea's lingering mysteries. Yet for all its majesty, the manta ray faces a fragile future, reproducing slowly with females giving birth to a single pup only every few years, leaving populations vulnerable to fishing pressures and the demand for their gill plates, though conservation efforts around the world are beginning to offer hope. And so, the manta continues its ancient migration across open seas and over coral kingdoms, gliding through cathedral-like shafts of sunlight as a living whisper of the ocean's vast intelligence. A reminder that not all giants dominate through force, that some rule through grace. And as this great winged shadow fades once more into the endless blue, it leaves behind a final, unforgettable truth. The ocean does not need monsters to inspire awe, because sometimes it creates angels. In the dim green underworld of the rainforest, where sunlight fractures through layers of leaves and the forest floor hums with unseen life, an empire marches in silence. The rulers are no larger than a paperclip, yet their civilization rivals our own in complexity. These are leafcutter ants, nature's master farmers, engineers, and warriors. Leafcutter ants, mainly from the genera Atta and Acromyrmex, evolved in South America more than 8 million years ago. Long before humans planted crops, their ancestors mastered agriculture. Instead of eating the leaves they cut, they use powerful mandibles to harvest vegetation and carry it in organized columns back to vast underground cities. There, the leaves are chewed into pulp and used to cultivate a specialized fungus, the colony's true food source. The ants feed it, clean it, and defend it from parasites. In return, the fungus produces nutrient-rich structures that sustain millions. Without the fungus, the ants cannot survive. Without the ants, the fungus disappears. It is one of the oldest known examples of symbiosis on Earth. A mature colony can contain several million ants and stretch more than 30 feet underground. Ventilation shafts regulate temperature and airflow. Separate chambers, house nurseries, fungal gardens, and waste sites. The colony functions as a superorganism, each ant a single working cell in a much larger body. At its center is one queen. After a single mating flight, she lands, burrows, and begins the colony alone, carrying a tiny fragment of fungus to seed her first garden. She may live over 15 years, producing millions of offspring. Every ant has a role. Tiny workers tend the fungus and larvae. Medium workers harvest leaves. Massive soldiers with oversized heads and crushing jaws defend against predators like anteaters and parasitic flies. When threatened, alarm pheromones mobilize thousands in seconds. Leafcutters even practice biological warfare. Some species host bacteria on their bodies that produce natural antibiotics, protecting their fungal crops from destructive mold. They also avoid plants toxic to their fungus, adjusting foraging routes through chemical communication and collective decision-making. To farmers, they can be formidable pests, capable of stripping a tree overnight. But in wild forests, they are ecosystem engineers. By pruning vegetation, recycling nutrients, and aerating soil, they shape the structure and diversity of entire rainforests. Survival is never guaranteed. Floods, disease, predators, and rival colonies threaten them constantly. Yet successful colonies endure for decades, sending new queens into the sky each year to begin again. Small, organized, relentless, leafcutter ants are living proof that power in nature is not measured in size, but in cooperation, adaptation, and time. Beneath the rainforest floor, their ancient civilization continues to harvest, cultivate, and thrive, one leaf at a time. This is a living animal. At first glance, it looks like something from another planet, an impossible ribbon of light, a drifting chandelier, a floating strand of glass. But it is not an illusion, not a plant, and not a trick of the water. It is a siphonophore, one of the most extraordinary organisms ever discovered in Earth's oceans. Though it appears to be a single creature, it is in fact a colony, hundreds, sometimes thousands, of tiny individual animals called zooids fused together so completely that they function as one unified being. Each zooid has a specialized role. Some capture prey, some digest food, some reproduce, some provide propulsion, and none can survive on its own. Together, they form a superorganism more coordinated than many single-bodied animals. Siphonophores belong to the same group as jellyfish and corals, the cnidarians, and like their relatives, they are armed with microscopic harpoons called nematocysts. These stinging cells fire faster than a bullet, injecting venom into anything they touch. In some species, the sting is powerful enough to paralyze small fish instantly. In a few, such as the infamous Portuguese man-o'-war, the venom can cause intense pain or even serious reactions in humans. Their tentacles can stretch astonishing distances, sometimes over 30 meters long, forming invisible fishing lines in the dark water. Prey that brushes against them never sees the attack coming. Many siphonophores live in the deep sea, a realm of crushing pressure and total darkness. To survive there, they have evolved bioluminescence, producing their own cold light through chemical reactions inside their bodies. Some glow in pulses, others shimmer in waves, and some can release glowing decoys to distract predators. In the blackness of the abyss, they drift like living constellations. Despite their fragile appearance, siphonophores are among the longest animals on Earth. Certain species can grow longer than a blue whale, stretching through the water like translucent trains. Yet they are so delicate that bringing one to the surface often causes it to fall apart, which is why scientists only began to truly understand them with the invention of deep-sea submersibles and remotely operated vehicles. They do not chase their prey, they do not roar, and they do not hunt with teeth or claws. Instead, they drift silently, patiently, letting the ocean currents carry them while their tentacles wait like a hidden net. Beauty, danger, cooperation, and alien design all exist in a single organism. The siphonophore is proof that life on Earth can be just as strange, just as mesmerizing, and just as unbelievable as anything we could ever imagine. Across the still waters of tropical wetlands, where lilies spread like floating continents and the surface of the water mirrors the sky, moves a bird that appears to defy the laws of nature. This is the jacana. At first glance, it seems impossible. A bird walking on water, stepping lightly across lily pads that should sink beneath its weight. But the jacana is no illusion. It is a master of balance, evolution shaped into living precision. Jacanas are found throughout the wetlands of Central and South America, Africa, and parts of Asia. They thrive in marshes, lagoons, and slow-moving rivers, places where water and land blur into one. Their secret lies in their feet. Exceptionally long toes and claws distribute their weight so evenly that they can walk across floating vegetation without breaking the surface below. This remarkable adaptation earns them the nickname, the lily trotter. But the jacana's true story is even more extraordinary. In most of the animal kingdom, males compete for females. Among jacanas, the roles are reversed. The female is larger, stronger, and fiercely territorial. She controls a domain that may include several males, defending it aggressively from rivals. Each male builds a nest, incubates the eggs, and raises the chicks alone. When danger approaches, he performs one of nature's most astonishing feats, gathering his chicks beneath his wings and carrying them to safety, their tiny legs dangling below his feathers like living tassels. The female, meanwhile, patrols the territory, mating with multiple partners and ensuring the survival of her lineage through dominance rather than devotion. Jacana chicks are born ready for independence. Within hours, they can swim, dive, and forage for themselves. Their world is one of constant danger. Fish below, birds above, and predators lurking at the water's edge. Survival demands speed, awareness, and instinct. Their diet consists of insects, spiders, and small aquatic creatures plucked delicately from the water's surface. Every step must be precise. One miscalculation can mean sinking or becoming prey. Visually, jacanas are striking. Rich chestnut wings, dark bodies, pale faces, and piercing eyes give them an unmistakable presence. In some species, sharp wing spurs serve as weapons, used in fierce battles to defend territory and offspring. Yet even with these advantages, the jacana is vulnerable. Wetlands are among the most threatened ecosystems on Earth. As marshes are drained and waterways altered, The floating world's jacanas depend on disappear. Without lilies, there is no stage for their remarkable dance. The jacana is a reminder that evolution does not follow one path. It experiments. It inverts expectations. It creates creatures that rewrite the rules. On a surface meant to give way, the jacana walks forward, balanced, fearless, and perfectly at home between water and sky. Long before humans ever walked the earth, before birds filled the skies and flowering plants reshaped the planet, spiders were already here. For more than 300 million years, they have survived mass extinctions, shifting continents, and dramatic changes in climate, making them some of the most successful predators in Earth's history. Among these ancient survivors is one of nature's most remarkable engineers, the orb-weaving spider. Orb weavers belong to the family Aranidae and descend from some of the earliest silk-producing spiders known to science. Fossil evidence preserved in ancient rock and amber reveals that spiders were spinning silk long before the age of dinosaurs. This silk, which is stronger than steel by weight and more elastic than nylon, became the foundation for an evolutionary design that has remained largely unchanged for millions of years: the orb web. Each night, an orb-weaving spider constructs an entirely new web from scratch with astonishing precision. Using up to 7 specialized types of silk, the spider first lays down strong anchor lines, then builds radial spokes, and finally spins a sticky spiral designed to capture prey. The web is not merely a trap, but an extension of the spider's nervous system, capable of transmitting vibrations that reveal the size, location, and struggle of anything that touches it. Orb weavers primarily hunt flying insects such as flies, moths, mosquitoes, beetles, and even stinging wasps. When prey collides with the web, the spider reacts instantly, either delivering a venomous bite or rapidly wrapping the victim in layers of silk. The venom liquefies the prey's internal tissues, allowing the spider to consume its meal efficiently while remaining safely hidden at the center or edge of the web. Despite their effectiveness as hunters, orb weavers face constant danger from predators including birds, lizards, and parasitic wasps. To defend themselves, they rely on camouflage, rapid web-shaking movements that confuse attackers, or sudden drops from the web while suspended by a safety line of silk. Some species go even further by constructing decoy spiders within their webs, creating false targets that draw attacks away from the real spider. Reproduction is one of the most perilous moments in an orb weaver's life. Males carefully signal their presence by plucking specific rhythmic patterns into the female's web, distinguishing themselves from prey. Even with these signals, mating can be fatal. Females produce silk egg sacs that may contain hundreds of eggs, protecting the next generation before dying and leaving the spiderlings to survive on their own. Orb-weaving spiders play a critical role in maintaining ecological balance by controlling insect populations across ecosystems worldwide. Ancient, delicate, and extraordinarily precise, they rebuild their masterpiece each night, weaving together hundreds of millions of years of evolution into every strand of silk. And that wraps up Facts of Life, Animal Kingdom, Part 2. From the fastest hunters to the most fascinating survival strategies, the animal kingdom never stops amazing us. Nature truly is the greatest storyteller. If you enjoyed today's journey into the wild, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Facts of Life, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next discovery. Drop a comment below and tell me, which animal surprised you the most? And what part of the animal kingdom should we explore next? Until next time, stay curious, stay learning, and remember, every creature has a story. I'll see you in the next episode of Facts of Life.